Hello and welcome back to my Ottoman Empire Campaign episode 14. So, last time we defeated the Austrian ships blockading Piraeus. I did need to make a correction that with the selling of the ships, we did have about 2,800 in terms of gold, not 23, so that was an error on my side. And we're just continuing to just replenish our forces now that the trade lanes have opened up again and we have some additional income. We're also looking to push forward against our enemies and make sure that we continue the growth and expansion of the empire. So, trade lanes are open again, which is great. We'll just check if we need to make any changes to our ministers, and it looks like they're all okay. Just do some final upgrades on some of the farms across the empire just to use up some of those resources. Our forces, as you can see, are moving close to Pressburg in Hungary, and we'll end the turn here and see what transpires next. So we need to just focus on getting Vienna. That will be our prize and our main objective to focus on soon. So we've got some workers on strike, that's okay. They've gone back to yellow or amber. Let's see, we need to push our units forward. Could do some more economic upgrades just to try and boost income so we're not overly reliant on trade alone coming from Piraeus. With all our units replenishing now, we don't think that there's any need to recruit any more units. We do need to take out those Russians at some point and look to build some sort of fleet that we can actually use to cripple the Russians. I mean, we might be able to take them out, but yeah, we just need a few more ships, I think. Let's continue to move our forces northward. We're going to try and do a splinter attack and hit Zagreb as well as Pressburg in Hungary. We're just consolidating our forces. We need to leave them there for now. See if we reduce our income. Yeah, maybe that's fine, we'll leave that income. Or our tax rate lower for the lower classes, just to reduce any risk of revolt within the newly acquired territories. Got some Austrian forces moving southward. Let's see if we can engage them. Can we sabotage? We don't want to do that, that's just a waste of resources. So let's move them out. So it looks like the Austrians currently have Zagreb, Pressburg in Hungary, and even Silesia, so a few more regions that they have under their control. And the turn again, these Russian forces on that bridge have not yet moved at all, but we're continuing just to keep an eye on them, just to make sure that we can keep control of the Russian territories that we've acquired previously. Can we move these units out? Yes, we can. That's great, so we'll move them out. We just try and work on getting our imams moved around to the various regions just to increase Islam and reduce that religious unrest, especially in the high Catholic areas of Christendom. Okay, we're going to make a move towards Zagreb, and I think next time we should be able to launch an attack against Zagreb, so that would be quite useful. The Russians have pulled back. So we'll keep an eye on them. Let's see if we can launch. Yep, we'll move forward towards Ukraine, see if we can consolidate an attack there. The Russians still probably don't want, no, they don't want peace. Damn it. So yes, so we're going to have to keep putting pressure on the Russians to try and force them into peace. I mean, it's likely that we could get peace while we blockade Ukraine, or Kiev, but it is also possible that they won't accept any form of peace. I don't think we want to push as far as Muscovy. We'll leave that to the Swedes, but we'll just keep an eye on the Russians for now. We just continue to upgrade our economic buildings and look at focusing on getting some additional ships. We need to build the Admiralty building in Istanbul, so yeah, we don't have enough resources for that at the moment. There's still a lot of economic buildings and infrastructure that we have to focus on at some point, and also be very wary of the Persians. Don't want them to launch a surprise attack against us while our forces are focused on Central Europe. But hopefully once we've captured knocked out the Austrians and the Venetians, we'll have a bit more leeway in which to adjust our armed forces. Oh, the Austrians are launching an attack. They're preempting and selling out to engage us just east of Zagreb proper. So we'll engage with the Austrians and look to crush this army and capture a new region for the empire. Okay, so we've got our first Beylik Janissaries. We'll be seeing action today. We've got a single cannon and no cavalry. Oh my god, I really have not got any cavalry. I need to readjust my forces. I suppose this army is primarily focused on sieging, but yeah, we will set up our army and then see if we can go from there. So what the original thoughts are, the Beylik Janissaries do not have the ability to have socket bayonet, so we want to keep them close to the cannons and have our Israelis who can do the square formation and have socket bayonets, have them right on the edges of our infantry line, just to make sure that if we have any cavalry or a strong Austrian presence there, we can at least, hold them at bay. So we'll just set up our forces. And while we're setting this all up, I was just thinking, like, what do you think are your favorite sort of Ottoman units? So again, like, we have the Nazim Isadit, which is the late infantry, in line with European doctrine. But what do you think of all the varied units across the Ottoman Empire? For those that have played the Ottomans previously, is that something that is there any particular unit that you like to use, or even in any of the other factions? Is there a particular favourite unit that you like to use? I'd love to know that in the comments. Please feel free to engage and share with me, and let's have a discussion on that. So the Austrians at this point are quite heavy cavalry orientated. Very, very cavalry orientated, so we're going to have to just keep those Israelis on the outskirts and make sure that they can do their square formation if the cavalry try to get around us. That's something that we definitely have to be wary of. Okay, the battle has begun. We'll move our forces in, just move them a bit forward of their current positions just to get into a good position to attack. Make sure that our infantry are slightly behind the cannons so they don't get any or much friendly fire. And we'll just keep an eye on the cavalry that might try to circumnavigate our defences. Without any cavalry ourselves, we are at quite a disadvantage. So we need to just, definitely keep an eye on that. We've got our Grenadiers who also make a first appearance in this session, in this battle. So it will be good to get them engaged as well. Maybe we can get some grenades going off just to add some excitement to the battle. And if we're looking at the campaign map, we can see there's a cavalry force already moving quickly up to our left flank, get our units into square formation. No one yet on the right flank, but there is a cavalry battalion moving there as well. Now maybe this is a bit of a cheese, getting so close to the end of the map, but needs must. We need to make sure that they do not outflank us at all. And we're also moving up our grenadier squadrons just to make sure that they can engage with these cavalry units. Okay, we're going to reposition our line infantry so we can get some pot shots off before cavalry are ready to engage us. And the Austrian infantry are moving forward, but we need to try and see if we can just just take out this cavalry unit just to reduce pressure on this flank, and then moving forward. Come on guys, fire, 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 come on. Come on guys, come on, come on. Oh, that was bad. Got a few were hit, but that was right into our line. How is that unit faring? They're still engaging. We don't have much engagement on the right flank. Austrians are moving closer and the cavalry have broken. Okay, so that's great. The cavalry have broken, charging into square formation after being shot at point blank range. Oh my god, that's crazy. And they do have a lot more cavalry units to harass us with, so we need to keep an eye on that. As well as our cannons, we need to make sure that we make good use of our canister shot as well. So we just move the Janissaries slightly further behind the cannon line, just to make sure that they are not going to be subject to friendly fire. And the right flank is secure from any cavalry engagements. So let's see if we can get some canister shot going. Come on guys. Oh, look at that. Walked right into it, face first. Okay, we've got some more units routing. There's been cavalry that got picked off by our line infantry. The good thing is that this will be good combat experience for our Janissaries, Beylik Janissaries and our Grenadiers, and it will always be good for the Israelis. You know, any chevrons they can get will be beneficial to their performance in future battles. Okay, and just if you do hear it, I am having a cup of tea in the background. Oh, you can't go wrong with a cup of tea. Good cup of tea is always needed, especially in a cold winter day. Okay, so still have had no movement from the cavalry units. So we're going to see if we can try and bait them to attack. Just move our forces forward, and if they don't attack, we can just try and pick them off easily before the Austrian line come into play. Cannons continuing to fire. Quite a few Austrians troops are inbound. But again, I don't know if it's just because it's currently set on normal difficulty that the units seem to not want to engage often, or if they feel like they're at a disadvantage. I mean, balance of power is still showing as almost equal, so we'll just try and take out as many units as we can. It's a good volley, about 7 units down, a few more units taken there. Okay, those cavalry are going. We're going to get into square formation. If they do move north, they'll get hit by some additional line infantry. And okay, we've got our Janissaries are engaging with some Austrian line. Again, our units are only 160 men strong, while the Austrians have 200 men. So they do have additional units coming in. or manpower, and we continue to move our left flank in to try and circumvent or to try and encapsulate the Austrian forces. Continue to push our left flank in, and potentially, yep, we'll start moving our right flank as well. The cavalry unit that attacked that line formation, the square formation, are gone. So that's great, so limited threats on our flanks now, so we'll continue to push our line forward and envelop the Austrians, or attempt to envelop the Austrians. The cannon shot is working wonders, at least routing many units. We'll continue to push our forces forward as much as we can. Let's get those line infantry in, and we'll bring the grenadiers in as well in the far background. See if we can encapsulate the Austrians, pin them down in the centre, and then swing those flanks in. Got an Austrian force moving towards the trees. They might be picked up by the Israelis. Yep. Got some gunfire going there. Okay, come on guys, come on, you guys can do this. We want minimum casualties, maximum damage to the Austrians. So we need to get these grenadiers in. I don't think they have any more cavalry units, or if they do, they just keep them to the back. Oh wait, there's some cavalry right there. They've been picked off. Some Austrian units are routing, and the Austrian detachment has decided to leave the right flank and head towards the centre. Okay. Let's continue to push our units forward. Make sure that we don't give the Austrians any time to recover. I think the cavalry unit has broken. The Austrians are trying to reform their line. Continue to fire canister shot. We are getting some heavy casualties on some of our units. Not the best. Let's see, can we fire our grenades? We're going to attempt to do grenade firing. Let's see if that will work. And we've got some grenades going off. That's great. It's a shame we missed the close-up of that. There we go, those grenades just went off, and that line unit is broken. So we'll consolidate our units forward and make sure that we turn off. The cannon is now turned off. Yep, that's great. And we'll just continue pushing their line. Just make sure we can get as many casualties on the Austrian side as possible. Just weaken them. Hopefully this means they won't return back to Zagreb once the battle's over. If they do, it will just be more units for us to just bombard with, as there is no fortification around the city currently. So yeah, just good experience for our units, and just putting that pressure on the Austrian forces, just crippling them. Some cavalry has returned. That's a shame we didn't see that earlier. Probably lost unnecessary units there. They seem to be routing again, and we've gone into square formation. To fire that unit. Oh, that was a mistake, sending those Israelis back while they're being hit with gunfire. Oh, that's a tactical error. Wasted lots of units there. Let's reform the line. The cavalry seems to be broken and are retreating. Let's see, we'll send our grenadiers off to try and engage in melee, but yeah, the Austrian forces are pretty much routed. It's a shame again we don't have any cavalry in this battle, so we can't run them down, but we'll have to pick them off in the next engagement that we have. Oh, that's a good volley from Janissaries and Israelis. Just keep picking off the Austrian line as much as possible. Janissary Grenadiers have gone off into the forest to chase down the Austrian line, and we just continue to push our forces forward. And that's it, heroic victory. So that was a good engagement and a much needed battle. We lost 172 men, not too bad, it's pretty much a unit. Overall stats not bad, fairly low, so that's quite good. So we pushed that force back, and it's left Zagreb free, so hopefully next turn we'll be able to just strike Zagreb and capture the city. And we can also see that Pressburg has got no units currently. They must have moved them back into Vienna or reinforced Zagreb. So it looks like 2 regions are now free for capture, so they don't surrender, so we'll auto-resolve that. We lost 160 men, not ideal. Should have just battled that out rather than taking the units. And let's see if we can launch an attack against Pressburg. Will they surrender? We'll maintain the siege. Okay, they accepted the surrender. Wow, okay. It's a shame we lost a lot of destruction on that building, but we can repair it in another turn. So we've just captured Pressburg and Zagreb, so that is amazing. 2 of Austria's cities. We've launched an attack against Ukraine, and we are subjugating the city, or we've laid siege to the city in Ukraine. The Russians still do not want a peace, so we're going to have to do something there. But wow, that's great. So we've really pushed the boundaries of the empire. We are on Vienna's doorstep, so I reckon the next episode we could be seeing the battle for Vienna. Wow, so that's not long to go. So definitely need to consolidate our forces. Okay, we're at that time of the video where we will end the current episode here. Thanks very much for watching. Please feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments. I'll do my best to engage with everyone and reply to all comments. For now, have a great rest of your day, wherever you may be. This is Ev signing out. Goodbye.